not that his agent was the problem, but he switched to Ja'Marr Chase's agent. So you have one agent working both deals, which obviously I think helps get things done. They know where things stand. And they both wanted to be there. The Bengals have built something, and with Joe Burrow there as the quarterback, these guys know they're going to get fed. They know they're going to get treated well. They know that they're going to be a big part of things, and obviously they're being paid that way. They still have to rebuild their defense, and they know that, but these are the key pieces for an offense that was one of the elite offenses in the league last year, and they want to keep it going as long as they can.
This was news generally we all woke up to this morning. J-Mac, when you woke up to this news, what was your first reaction?
My first reaction was secondaries all across the league got no sleep and are terrified, and that's including the Cincinnati Bengals secondary because they realized there's no help on the way. All the money just went to Tee Higgins and to Ja'Marr Chase, including the quarterback Joe Burrow. Listen, the Cincinnati Bengals, they paid their star players. You have to love and respect that. At the same time, you're going to have question marks for them on the defensive side of the ball. Is how do you get enough help? They scored a ton of points last year, and it wasn't enough for them to make the playoffs. So now that you got these guys, how do you figure out a way to get this defense playing well? They've drafted a ton of guys over the last few years. Since they drafted Joe Burrow, 9 of the 13 top 100 picks that they've had in the draft have gone to the defensive side of the ball, and it hasn't worked out. So they have to continue to try to grow and develop these guys and bring them along using the draft to try to keep up with the amount of points that Joe Burrow and company is going to score.
To make them what? That's the question, Dominique. We know they've got the quarterback. When you've got the quarterback, you've got a shot. He's going to keep his guys, but they had these guys. So what does this make the Cincinnati Bengals right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think whenever you have a quarterback like that has the ability to get as hot as he does in those receivers, you have a chance to go on the run. And if you're going to take a chance and roll a dice on either side of the ball, it's definitely the defensive side of the ball. That side is a little less sticky. You can get a little lucky with defense from time to time. Bad defenses sometimes have a good run, and good defenses have kind of poor seasons. But, I mean, the big takeaway from this is I lose the joke. Like, I love making fun of the Bengals for being cheap and broke. They're no longer cheap and broke. It's no more fun making fun of the Bengals because they're spending money, especially if they get the Hendrickson deal done. This is a team that's moved into the modern era of football, is trying to spend to win.
Yes, look, when you have as much experience being wrong in your predictions as I do, you get good at explaining them. I was wrong. I owe them an apology. I said on this show on Friday that this was starting to feel like the same old Bengals. They're not going to get the deals done with the wide receiver. They let Hendrickson seek a trade, and then there seems to be all this scuttle that they're asking too much. And I thought that this was going to be very much like what we have come to expect from the Bengals for a long time. I was wrong. They got the deals done here. We'll see what happens with Hendrickson. I don't know if this makes them a championship contender or not, but it was definitely the right thing to do.
Yeah, look, since Joe Burrow got there, they have changed a lot about the way they do business, right? They sold the naming rights to the stadium, which is not it sounds silly, but the guy's father's name was on the stadium. Yeah, right. He resisted for a while. They built a new indoor practice facility, which they didn't have prior to this. And now they are spending in a way that reflects they want to maximize the Joe Burrow era. They're trying to get money for a stadium out there. Like financially, they are not the same old Bengals, and they're not acting like it. They just need to hit some of these draft picks on defense.
All right, it's not where we expected to begin this morning, but while you were sleeping, huge news from the NFL. Meanwhile,
Chase always open. Ja'Marr Chase, Tee Higgins both got paid yesterday. Both get 4-year deals to remain with the Bengals. For Chase, he becomes the highest paid non-quarterback ever. 4 years, $161 million. Tee Higgins, 4 years, $115. Ja'Marr Chase, Tee Higgins both found their pot of gold. Both get 4-year deals to remain with the Bengals. For Chase, he becomes the highest paid non-quarterback ever. 4 years, $161 million. Tee Higgins gets 4 years, $115 million. A combined $69 million in annual salary is $10 million higher than the next closest receiver duo. That duo plays down in Miami. It's time now to overreact about the pays. Overreactions now with Dan Graziano. It's been a while, so let's run it back. The Grozfather here to provide some. The Bengals paying those two guys means Trey Hendrickson definitely, Dan, on his way out of Cincinnati. Is that an overreaction or not?
It's a complete overreaction. Look, The Bengals told us that they were going to sign all 3 of these guys. Now that they've signed 2 of them, why would we doubt them? They were able to get both of these guys on big money deals. Trey Hendrickson has been out there for a couple of weeks looking for a trade, looking for a team that's willing to give him what he wants in a contract and also give the Bengals what they want in trade. Has not found it yet. My sources are telling me that he and the Bengals have been in conversations over the last week or so about a potential new deal there in Cincinnati. So I would not be at all surprised if the way this ends is with Hendrickson going back to Cincinnati on a reworked deal.
35 sacks past 2 seasons, most in the NFL. Let's talk quarterbacks. This was one of the worst possible years to need a quarterback. Dan, is that an overreaction or not?
It's not an overreaction. Look, it's a thin draft at quarterback from what we are told compared to last year, especially when 6 quarterbacks went in the first round. Free agency has been tough, but Matthew Stafford staying with the Rams, that was the top choice for a couple of teams, including the Giants, who are now waiting for an answer from Aaron Rodgers, along with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Vikings may be involved on Aaron Rodgers yet, when that could leave the Steelers and the Giants both out in the cold, looking through options like Russell Wilson and Joe Flacco. I think the Raiders did pretty well adding Geno Smith. Sam Darnold to the Seahawks, it's just not a real inspiring year if you need a quarterback, and it doesn't seem like there's any slam dunk answers in the draft. So if you are the Steelers and the Giants, hoping that the guy the Jets cut just says yes to your offer at some point, that's a tough place to be.
All right, speaking of the draft, we're just about a month out from Green Bay, April 24th. Dan Graziano joining us this morning on Sports.
Tiếp nữa nhé. Rồi mũi nữa này. Tiếp tục móc. Cứ móc lên phiên từng mũi như vậy cho đến hết cho mình. Đấy. Móc lần lượt như thế này nhé. Tiếp tục móc. Đấy, móc lần lượt như vậy là được. Còn vài mũi cuối thôi là xong hàng này, mình móc tiếp nhé. Móc xuống nữa này. Tiếp tục móc. Bây giờ sẽ nối vào và siết dây nhé. Mình siết dây. Đấy. Được cái phần váy xòe như này. Đổi mẫu rồi nhá. Giờ sẽ sang cái màu hồng đậm. Mình cũng sẽ gỡ lên này ra để làm. Rồi, bây giờ sẽ siết chặt cái phần len màu hồng lại. Mình siết chặt nó lại là được nhé. Cái hàng này mọi người cũng vẫn móc những mũi đơn. Móc lần lượt từng mũi cho mình. Cứ một mũi vào một chân là được nhé. Rồi bây giờ móc tiếp những mũi tiếp theo nha mọi người. Đây này. Nó sẽ đổi màu từ nhạt sang đậm như này. Bây giờ móc tiếp nhé. Móc tiếp nữa này. Rồi tiếp tục móc. Móc lần lượt từng mũi cho đến hết. Rồi cái móc lần lượt như này là được nhé. Mình móc để màu sắc nó chuyển như thế này. Tiếp tục móc những mũi tiếp theo nhé. Rồi móc tiếp nữa. Đấy, mọi người làm lần lượt cho mình. Móc nối sang bên này. Tiếp nha mọi người. Tiếp tục móc. Rồi, mũi tiếp theo. Tiếp tục này. Rồi, mũi nữa nhé. Còn một chút xíu nữa này là sẽ nối được. Mình móc tiếp nha mọi người. Tiếp tục móc. Mọi người cứ làm luân phiên từng mũi cho đến hết cho mình. Mình móc tiếp những mũi tiếp theo nhé. Móc tiếp nữa này. Rồi mũi nữa. Bây giờ sẽ nối lại nhé. Bây giờ sẽ móc cái